Loki can change the form of himself and other objects at a moment's notice, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to do it with a playing card with just a wave of your hand.
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose. I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose. I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
I hope you enjoyed that. Now I'm going to be teaching two ways that you can change a card with just a wave of your hand. One is going to be designed for beginners, so it'll be super easy to do if you've never done sleight of hand before. And the second one is going to be for more advanced students, people who already know sleight of hand. I'm going to be teaching you a move that I've never taught before, and I'm going to affectionately call it the Loki change. Now guys, if you get any value out of this video or find yourself enjoying it, make sure that you smash the like button and maybe subscribe if you haven't already. But without any further ado, let's get stuck into the tutorial. Alright, so here we are with the beginner's color change. It's super easy to do. To give you a quick look, what happens is if you rub the card like this, it'll actually change in an instant right in front of your eyes. How cool is that? Now, if you follow the steps, you'll be able to do this in absolutely no time. You'll be blowing your friends' or family's minds. It'll be super easy, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this one. So here's what's happening. I'm holding the deck in this dealer's grip, okay? So these three fingers running along the edge, my pointer is curled around the front, and my thumb is just lightly resting there. It's a very natural way to hold a deck of cards. Now, as I'm rubbing the card to change it, what happens is that the pads of my fingers will push the top card of the deck forward, okay? Now I make sure that I keep this finger in contact, okay? You don't want it to disappear, so I just push it forward. So now you can see it's jogged just out, exposing the second most card. Alright, so this happens to about here. I push it out about 1/4 of the card, and then I continue sliding my hand over the top as if I'm just rubbing the card. Okay, so I push it forward and then I'm sliding along like this until the palm of my hand is able to contact the second most card. Now once my palm is contacting the second most card, you'll see that as I pull back, that card is going to be stripped out by the flesh of my palm until it clears the top card and is now levered up from the deck into my hand. From the top view, it's very good and you can't actually see it. Now once that's cleared, I'm going to use my index finger to push this top card back in line with the deck, and then I'm just going to go back over the top again and place the second card on top. So a quick run through again. As I push forward, I'm pushing all the way until I can strip out the second most with the pad of my hand. Once it clears, I square up this card here, and then I just place this card on top, and it just looks so magical. Now I do recommend that you practice doing this in a mirror, okay, because with practice it's going to look more natural. Eventually you'll get it to a point where you won't need to think about it, you'll just be able to do it at a moment's notice. And also know that once you clear this second card out, the deck is actually an excellent way to be able to move your hand freely, okay, because the card can slide along the edge of that deck, allowing you to like do things like this where you can show the card like that, come over the top and then replace it. You can get really creative with the way you do it, and I recommend that you try and experiment with it. So that's it for the basic color change. Now if you're still here, I assume that you're either very curious or you have some experience with sleight of hand. The color change I'm about to teach you was taught to me about 10 years ago by a street performer named James Hessler. He was my mentor. The move's not been published as far as I know, so I'm going to be teaching it to you guys, affectionately calling it the Loki change. Grab a deck of cards, stretch your knuckles out. It's going to be a little bit knacky, but if you follow the steps, I guarantee you'll be doing this move in no time as well. So let's dive into tutorial view. Alright guys, so here it is, the Loki change. Now, it looks just like that, very visual, very clean. And I'm going to be teaching you not only the move, but also that fancy little opening sequence that I do to get into the move. But let's start off with the basics of the color change. Now, in order to do this color change, you're going to want to be able to do a double lift. When you do the double lift, you're going to be placing it on the edge of the deck. If you were to divide the card into quarters, all right, you're going to be putting 1/4 on the edge of the deck. You can see it's almost exactly 1/4 fitting into the edge of the deck. And I'm just holding the 2 cards as one. My thumb is down closest towards the bottom of the card in the middle of the deck. And also, these fingers here are actually creating a slight bow in the card, which helps maintain the 2 cards as one without them accidentally splitting. Now, when you do the move, all right, what's going to be happening is that these fingers that are contacting the bottom, all right, these 2 here, I'm going to be waving my hand over the top. My thumb is going to pull in. My thumb is pulling in on this card. As this hand is going to steal the card, you can see these 2 fingers aid in pushing it into the hand. So this steals the card. My pinky takes over and does most of the work. I then use my pointer finger to push this card square as I wave back over. All right, the card is still in the palm. And then, because I'm holding it in this nice grip where I've got the dealer's grip here, I've got this nice corner to help align the card. So essentially what I'm going to do is, as I wave over again, I'm dropping the card into that corner for a nice alignment. Altogether, it's going to look like this, where I wave the hand over, and as I come back, it falls into alignment and it looks very clean. Now, some pointers. When you're holding the deck, all right, I don't change from the dealer's grip. That's the beautiful thing about it. So when you're holding the double, all right, and it's placed here, all right, look at the placement of my thumb. It's on the center of the deck and on the bottom of this card here. These 2 fingers here, it just allows me to have a push-pull motion, you see? Allows me to split those cards. Now you need to time that push-pull motion to the wave of your hand so as to not accidentally expose the card that you're stealing. All right, in that one motion of the wave, as I come over, you can see, if I do it from an exposed view, as I wave over the top, you can see how it's just staying in alignment the whole way through until I'm ready to steal it. This card gets squared up, and then I drop it into that little corner alignment there. This is going to take you a very long time to learn how to do even just this, okay? It's not easy. It is extremely difficult to do. It took me a couple of years, I would say, to be able to do this move, even though it's not been published and myself and James kind of created it from scratch. It was just something that we worked on time and time again to try and get it to look like it really is just a wave of the hand and the card changes. Now, do not be discouraged if you don't get it right away. It is extremely difficult to make this look smooth. But I guarantee you, if you persist, you will have it down in no time. All right, now let's get stuck into that fancy little double lift that I do to get straight into the move right now. Now for the fancy double lift, what's happening is I'm just getting a break under the 2 cards that I'm going to do, and my thumb contacts the corner closest to the pinky. My middle finger, flipped you off again, baby. My middle finger is going to contact the opposite corner long ways, all right? Now what happens is I rotate it around, okay? So you can see I'm just holding this in a dealer's grip. It rotates around because my finger is going to be able to pull that, so it rotates around. I rotate it all the way around like this with my index finger. Then I start to rotate it back, and you'll see that the ring finger will actually curl in, right? It curls in like this. I create a little bow, and that allows my thumb to then slide down the card, hopefully keeping them aligned. And then once it gets into position, I'm going to be using my finger here to kick these cards around as one. Now this is incredibly difficult to do slow. It's also incredibly difficult to do fast, but essentially I'm rotating it all the way around. All right, now my pointer will take over, rotate it all the way to here. It'll rotate it back so it's facing me. I use this finger to help keep these cards in alignment. All right, a little bit of a bow as my thumb slides down until it feels comfortably in position, and then we're going to kick. So this finger here is pulling in as this one pushes out, and that flicks them both around. Now if you do it to speed, you're actually going to have an easier time keeping them together as as one card. So it's going to rotate around just like that, pull back in, and then flick it around, and boom baby, you are set for gold. So there it is, guys, a basic color change for people who aren't magicians, an advanced color change for the people that are magicians, and a totally sick, flourishy, double lifty thing. And it cost you nothing. Don't tell no one, I don't give you nothing, all right?
Enchanté.